going to grace for 15 seconds. Okay. Okay. I've not been given a topic.
So you can pick from number 1 to 3.
Number 1.
Number 1. Your topic is Scars of a Thousand Journeys.
Scars of a Thousand Journeys. Okay. So I'm going to start my speech in 3. Hold on. In 3, 2, and 1. They say every scar tells a story. Some are etched on your skin, visible for the world to see, while others are in your heart and your soul, tucked inside it. But scars, whether seen or unseen, they have a source, an origin. The whispers of battles fought, troubles you went through, even when eyes are not looking. So don't call them just wounds. Call them scars of a thousand journey. Because when they tell you the journey to 1,000 miles starts with a step, it's really that step. Because each one of that scars is a fingerprint of where you and I have been. It's the journey we've gone through, our stories untold. The time where you felt heartbroken, you felt like your heart is about to rip off. The time you fell from the staircase when you were a child. The time you touched the hot pot when you were a baby. Those were stories. And do you know what it reminds us to do? It reminds us not to stand still. It reminds us to be active, vibrant, keep moving. Because no matter how tough a battle can get, only the toughest one survives. And since you have no control who lives, who dies, who tells your story, ensure you don't let those scars stop you. Is it your project? Is it school that is feeling like your lecturers are the almighty? Those are scars. By the time you grow, by the time you become you, by the time you become the biggest person, you will tell them as stories. So look at someone beside you and say, my scars are not my weakness. My scars are my strength. My scars are my story. Because this message is for all of us. The wound you have, the injury, do not despise it. See, your scar might be your best friend. Your scar might be the mistake you made. Do not despise it. Do not wish them away. Wear them with pride. If they tell you, why do you have scars? Tell them, if it's easy, do them. Because what doesn't kill you make you stronger, my brother. So those scars are nothing but stories. Wear them with pride. Like I said, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. And only people with power have enemies. You having enemies, you having scars, means you have potentials, means you are worthy of being in that conversation. Don't make people think less of you because of those scars. Be who you are, irrespective of the scars.
All right. Thank you very much for that speech. That's 3 minutes 10 seconds. So if you're not listening, you can use
The mic. Okay.
all right. Moving on. So you can pick the topic from 1 to 10.
So
Fit out or die.
It's out of there.
out, or die.
Okay. So I'll begin my speech in three, two, one. That is how I scream every night. I have sounds inside my heart that I cannot express. I have voices in my head and I have no way to say them out. Harder, faster, don't stop, continue, keep pushing. These are the things I hear every day from the people around me, from my parents, from my peers, from everybody. Please stop. Just stop. You come from a family of lawyers. You cannot be a makeup artist. But that is who I am. That is what I want to be. Why not just let me? My mother would call me, if Naya, sit down. You cannot just fit into every round hole they put you in. You have to fit out. You have to follow the path of the family. You have to become a lawyer. But this is not the path I want for myself. This is not what I choose to be. So why force me? Well, you gave me a decision. Fit out or die. And I choose to die. I just drank a bottle of sniper. And no, mother, that this is because of you. You forced me to study law, and now my friends are graduating, but I have 5 more years and 101 carryovers. But if you had just let me, if you had just let me be what I wanted to be, let me be who I really am, this would have not been the story. We have systems where parents force their children to do or live in their image. They try to live vicariously through them. This is my story today. But I hope as I sacrifice myself on this altar of being heard, everybody would take this as an example. I'd rather die than try to fit out when I don't fit in anywhere. So, Mom, just know that this is on you and Dad. Thank you.
These are very difficult. All right. That being said, would like to invite the first speaker to be on. So, so you can pick from two to ten.
Okay. I'll pick number 7.
Okay. Your topic is every piece is imminent war. Every piece is imminent war. Yeah.
Every peace is imminent war. Okay. Please, can I take this? Please, I'll need you to time me when I'm,
But Jones is simple. Let
you know, maybe you should.
after
When
the
is
first minute, the clap. Or you
when is 2 minutes 30 seconds? Just clap.
just the clap 20 or just 20 seconds.
2 minutes 30 seconds the clap. Then when is the last 3 minutes? Another clap. Thank you. I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Now imagine the man that held your hand while you were growing was your biggest war. The man that kissed you when you needed peace, the man that wiped your tears when everything wasn't all right, happens to be your biggest wound. Oh, Arinola was just at age 10 when she discovered that monsters do not hide under your bed. They live within the vicinity. They know your name. In fact, they join you on the dining table. And you know what? Just a knock at her door every night makes her realize that her father could actually be the monster and the deepest wound she ever had. She was just at age 10 when she discovered that a tender touch can be way much worse than 30 stab wounds. Uncle will insist that this tender violation was a gift. He claimed it was a friendly game, but she was never understanding the rules and regulations that her dad was using. And just like the admirers at the penalty spot, she had already lost her shots. But her dad will always score. He will always score. He can always win. Maybe because she was never really good at the game of goalkeeping. And every night, her body becomes a yellow tape of people screaming, "Oh, my inner child is in there. I need to save her before it gets too late." But hell no, they were always ever too late. And she grows up with that trauma playing in her head like TikTok says the clock. He will sneak into her room like the breeze that blows into her window, touch her body like a soft thing that he owns, licks her lips and saves her the taste of burnt wood, still has the audacity to whisper in her ears, "Come on, Arina, now tell me, doesn't this feel good?" She was just in JSS1, but these jam questions were coming 5 years too early. So every Sunday morning, she wake up, walk into cathedrals like a dead cop, looking for a savior and a God to redeem her of a sin she was barely conscious of. So every night she sits in front of the mirror, look at herself and say, "Omo yi, oh fine go." That means you are pretty, but are you really fine inside? Hell no. Hell no, she was not fine. Arinella needed help because her father, who was her first peace, her father, who was her safe place, became her wounded. He became a threat to her life, and he was her war in her life. Thank you.
2 minutes, 9 seconds. Mrs. Let's pick up last speech. Okay, next speaker. All right. So 1 to 7 has been picked. You can pick 2 to 6, 8 to 10.
5.
All right. 5. Them walls be standing on my business.
All right. Okay.
So, are you with your timer or do you need me to clap?
Yes, I would like to. I have my timer.
You have it. So I can-
All right. I begin in 3, 2, 1. I was always the weird kid, the ugly kid, the one who liked to wear dinosaur-colored socks with purple Crocs and walk all the way to school with dust all over her heels. I liked Marvel, DC. I didn't like dolls. I was just that kid. And then soon, other kids didn't like it. So guess what? I was bullied.
I was bullied for so long that my parents decided they wanted to protect me from the world. So then what happened? They withdrew me from the school I was attending, and they decided maybe you'd be safer if we kept you at home. So they kept me at home. No longer did I attend private school. Now I was home being schooled by a private tutor, just the way they wanted. They had built a little fortress all around me, and I felt safe. Nothing could harm me in here. But then that's the thing. Those walls were not just protection. I grew older, I grew smarter, I grew bolder, and I came to realize that those walls were prison. Because soon, it wasn't just what would people say, what would people think, what would they do to you? You shouldn't wear that. It looks too different. You shouldn't go there. They would look at you in a certain way. Those walls that they built around me, trying to protect me, that thing that seemed like a fortress, it was prison. And I didn't figure it out on time, but those walls be standing on my business because every single time I wanted to leave the house, I knew that I was going to be facing the monsters that they had created, the fear of the rest of the world that they had given birth to inside of me. Because no longer could I step out and breathe clean air without being afraid of what people would say. And no longer could I step out in confidence without the voices of my parents ringing in my ear like the proverbial angel and demon, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. What would people think? Those walls, that prison is where society keeps you. And until you act like a bulldozer and you break those walls down, you will never be free. Those walls will cage you and they will trap you. And they will keep you forever. So don't let those walls stand on your business, or you're never going to escape. Thank you.
Number 4.
Number 4. Number 4. Third class president. Third class president. Third class president.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just give me a countdown.
Okay. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. Guys, how far come together? I knew you guys came out to vote for me last week, and I've been wanting us to have this conversation, but I just needed some time to get my head in the right space. So last week, it was the SUG election. And we know how school propaganda happens now. A lot of people were running here and there because who gave me the audacity as a lady to run for SUG? I mean, who am I in the first place to even think the SUG elections meant for a lady? But you know, I'm glad you guys came out and supported me, and I really appreciate it. And in as much as
I was termed the third class president because I had that moving around the school a lot. I first want to thank you for coming out to support me. And this is a gathering of women, so it's going to be a closed conversation and something I'm never going to say outside this room. It took a lot for me to come out as a woman to do this, because so long as we keep staying back, so long as we don't keep fighting for representation in this school, we would keep being seen as less. And it actually took a lot for me to make up my mind to do something that has never been done in the history of the school before. And as the person that I am, all of you know now, I like being the trendsetter. I like being the pace setter. So even if I did not win, I like to think that I have set a precedent for every single woman in this room. And we know they tire, oh, we would not stay back. Even if I don't win now, next year we go harder. We would not only go for presidency, we would go for vice presidency, we will go for secretary. We will still go for the financial secretary and director of information. We will take over the school. We will take over the school elections because we deserve it. We have stayed too long under the government of these boys that don't see us for what we are and see us more than our bodies, see us more than the cleavages that we show them. And we need to be able to prove that we are more than the lip gloss and the lip combo. So leave out all of the disappointment that you got from me not winning the elections. I know that I did not win. I mean, I had to chest it even if I felt bad. But right now, women are inspired because of me. And every one of you have somebody to look up to. Even if I have not achieved anything, I have achieved that, and that is enough for me. So cheer up, ladies. Let's go again next year. Thank you.
3 minutes, 11 seconds. All right, these are things that we have for our final speech. With this, we are going to all right. You can pick any number from 1 to 10.
6.
Number 6. On the other side of fear is even more fear. On the other side of fear is even more fear. Fear plenty for ground.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, those who identify as others, I have 3 confessions for you today. Sadly, by the end of these 3 minutes, it might matter, it might not matter to you. I really do not care. It's my story to share, and I'm going to share it. You see this? This represents my first tale of fear, my first fail. Represents a debate competition I attended 3 years ago, my introduction to the debate circuit. Now, here's the thing. Going into the very interview that took me into that literary and debate society to begin with, I had every reason to doubt it. I had no money to buy the form. When I got to the meeting, I saw people better dressed. When I finished my training and interview sessions, I was rated second on the list. That affected my pride. And so I was scared that in the worst case scenario, defeating all of this would have been for nothing. I conquered that fear, entered into a ton of competitions. Today, I debated in the breakout room for the ANUDC for the first time, and I lost. I'm still scared. My second story has to do with love. Now, this is quite important to me, right? This has to do with my girlfriend from about 2 years ago. I was scared to ask her out. I was shit scared, in fact. Until one Friday evening, after normal motivation for my boys, I summoned courage We walked to a park in school. I sat her down. I'd read online about fruits and what to bring. I brought all of this. We talked. She said she had been waiting for me for a very long time, and I was just finding out now. And she agreed. We dated for about 4 months. Interestingly, my birthday happened to fall within one of those months, so she gave me that watch as a gift. We broke up after 4 months. As it stands, I'm still scared of love. My third and most important story has to do with this. My dad was not around for most of my life, and that means I grew up with a fear of male figures, older male figures. However, quite recently, about 1 year ago, when he was to travel, he gave me this with the assurance that that trip was not going to be like the others, and that on his return, he would spend much more time with me. I mean, look at me, I'm a 23-year-old man. That should not have much of an effect. I should not believe. So I believed, I held on to that belief. We finally started using Instagram. A 60-something-year-old man, can you imagine? We're using Snap, we're using Twitter, we're communicating very well. Just about 3 weeks ago, I got the incredibly sad news that he passed. He passed doing his favorite thing anyways. He's dead. This is all I have of him. And I'm sure I'm still going to be scared of elderly male figures. As it stands, I went into all 3 situations scared. As it stands, I'm still scared. Does it mean I'll stop? You'll have to stick to find out later.
All right. Studio 2. All right. Thank you for that speech. My phone died in the middle of it.
Number 7. Seven. Number 9.
Number 9 says, if no be my try, would think I for swallow.
I would begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. All my life, I had envisioned what my 20th birthday party was going to be like. I saw my future play out for me. I was going to be signed out of university at 20, owning my own brand, and working with my dream organizations. But life is like a roller coaster. At 20, I am learning to walk again. I am learning to find my feet. I am learning to feel confident in myself. I used to be like you, capable, able-bodied, 2 legs, younger, mean, nothing anybody can do for you. If you are now AA, additional point. But for me, my story was different. I was diagnosed with a chronic illness at the tender age of 16. For someone who has done sports, mathematics, literary and debating, press, I tried out all my potentials. I gave it my all. But one day, I got a diagnosis that had no cure, and that meant no going back. I was going to be on drugs for the rest of my life. That was not the worst part of it. And then it came, I lost my mobility, and now I have to depend on a stick to walk.
This event took a lot on me, my mental health, my pride, my person. I doubted who I was. Was my potential enough? It started when I had carryovers for someone who used to be a bright student. Not because I was not capable, but because I just cannot control my body. Then I began to wonder who was going to marry a disabled lady. No matter how pretty and beautiful I am, I have been reduced to that girl that uses a stick. My personality has been reduced to a disability. I have been seen within the confines of my illness and nothing more beyond that. For so long, I cowered. I stood behind the shadow. I refused to put myself out there because I felt like, oh, this is my reality. I do not get to choose. Even if the dumbest man in the room asks me out, I'm supposed to say yes because I should be lucky. He's asking out a disabled girl. But last month, I changed my mind. I decided that it has been enough that I have swallowed my pride. I am choked. I need to breathe. And it is time that I stopped swallowing my pride. It is time that I felt confident in my skin. And look at me today. I was selected as part of my school members to attend ANUDC 2025 with my stick. Today, I have a man who loves me and will move the mountain for me and do not care that I am disabled. Today, I have family and friends who would stand by me. And so, yes, if not my pride, what would I swallow? I will swallow cowardness and I will stand in courage and confidence. Thank you.
All right, give us time to the speaker. And we are going to be inviting the last speaker for the round, Mr. Nelson.
Could you please just give me a signal when it's 2 minutes 30 seconds? Say it's 3 minutes speech. 2 minutes 30 seconds, just give me a signal. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1. I was actually going to do a prepared speech, but yeah, what's the topic? I think number 8. 8. 8, 8, 8. Yeah, it's first under my speech. All right. So I'm going to start in 3, 2, and 1. Heavy is the head that fucks the pig's head. Polluting us with unpopular policies that pollute the masses, they litter the streets with dreams big enough to fill the big potholes in them. Our government is like an abusive parent. They smash the lamplight that illuminates our dreams. They do not even care about our frightful screams. We have been good children. We have been good citizens. We obey the laws. We pay the taxes from our meager salaries and allowances. We do everything within our power to be civil citizens. We went out to vote in the election because we were obedient to resolve, to our conscience, and to the possibility of a new Nigeria. But what it took was 20 bodies, 10 broken souls, and 20,000 failed promises
for my country's flag to be morphed from green, white, green to green, red, green. This red stands for the blood of Chike, whose crime was that he wore a tattoo. It stands for the blood of Aisha, which crime was that she held a rifle with a half-eaten apple inscribed on its back. These people now see iPhones as rifle. Beaten, broken, battered. That is the realities of countless youths within Nigeria. We have been faithful citizens. We have done everything we want to do. But these politicians do not care about our dreams. These people are not just statistics. They are children of parents. They are dreams unlived. They are hopes smashed and destroyed at infancy. They were murdered in the murdered land. So when I tell you I want to japa, when I tell you I will pursue the visa with every strength in me, when I tell you I will chase Obodo Ibo with every drop of blood in my soul, do not tell me about patriotism. Do not tell me about love for one's nature or the fact that I have to be loved my country and be one Nigeria. Because not be only me go this serious relationship when I only me serious. This government don't care about me, so I will pursue everything I can to be free, to be free, to be free, to be free, and to be free. Because liberation is not a choice. Because this is not a cry for help. It is an exorcism of pain. It is a firm resolve that no longer beaten, broken, battered, but the black boy breaking bridges built by butchers. This is a firm resolve because heavy is the head that wears the crown. Thank you.
With this, we've come to the end of the round. And I just confirm that everyone that was supposed to speak in this round has spoken already. All right, you all can kindly